I think it's important that, as the manager, that I am visible. But of course, it's about doing the job too. So I need to make sure that I'm on my game too.
Nigel, great to see you. How are you, and how good is it to be back in person?
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I'm not going to drop dead soon. is the prognosis? Might disappoint a few people, maybe, but I'm okay. Good to be back. I don't like to be absent, especially when when the form is as it is. I think it's important to be around and visible, and so it's good to be back in. But of course, it's about trying to shift our fortunes somewhat.
You've been in regular contact with Curtis and the coaches. Yeah. What's the overriding message as we go into this next block of games?
That we've got to start turning results around. The Coventry defeat, very much in the fashion with which it happened, was again, it really does trigger a lot of people's negative feelings about our season so far, in terms of throwing away points late in games, and of course that is, we totally understand that. We share that disappointment and frustration too, and the players are fully aware of the necessity for us to make things happen ourselves. So in terms of fitness, we know that we're fit enough, but at times we've caused ourselves too many problems by poor decision making. So we go into this game now with some of our fans being a bit disenchanted with us, and we have to accept that. We have to accept that criticism, but do something about it. That's the most important thing for us.
An international break can be a chance to reset. Do you sense that could be the case with ourselves?
Well, we'll find out when we play Blackburn. We've got 2 home games coming up, and it's really important that we get performances, but more importantly that we get results. What I'm like about talking about performances, but it really is a case of we need to make things happen on the pitch and get some decent results. And I think doing that, it will create a more positive feel. But I fully understand the frustrations of our fans, and quite rightly so. I mean, we have to win them back. We have to get our fans on side with us. So that's the challenge.
Having won the Barnsley match, and what a great atmosphere it was at Ashton Gate, are you in a way looking forward to going back home and perhaps experiencing that again?
Strangely enough, I always enjoy going. I always look forward to the games at home. It's just that it's been it's been an ordeal, let's put it like that, over a sustained period of time. Certainly in my tenure here, but even stretching back to January, I think it was. So it's been a tough ordeal. I would think some of our fans are quite happy that last season they weren't able to, or they weren't in attendance. But I think that did have a big bearing on it as well. I do believe that is the case. But look, I'm not one for dwelling on the past. It's really now about trying to make things happen. Very much in the present. Blackburn, I know Tony pretty well. We're from the same sort of era, playing wise, and he's had a really good career as a manager. His teams are they play good football, and they've had a decent first third of the season. So we've got to make sure that our performance is right first and foremost.
We've seen Nathan Baker and Antoine and Joe, Tommy Conway back in training. Yeah. Nice to have them potentially available. Yeah,
it's good to get them back. And competition for places is very important. But it's nice to have those players coming back into contention. And especially somebody like Joe, for instance, who's had a pretty long ordeal himself with dealing with injuries and false dawns, getting back to playing. He's a player that we need his qualities at the moment with Andy King and Matty James being absent from the team over the last couple of weeks. So he's certainly in contention for a starting place, which is good for him and us.
You're obviously coming back yourself. What kind of person will we see? What kind of Nigel Pearson will we see in training and on Saturday?
We'll have to wait and see. Look, it's my first morning back in, so after getting some positive news, so I'm relieved to be back in first and foremost. I think it's important that as the manager, that I am visible. I mean, that's something that I think is I'm happy to shoulder the responsibility. But of course, it's about doing the job too. So I need to make sure that I'm on my game too.